It's not a national emergency, it's a neighborhood fire. Yet for the families who lost their homes, it's a major disaster. What does the Red Cross do in a situation like this?
We're here to help the families. We give them food and blankets, and we provide shelter.
I was with the families last night, and thank goodness they didn't lose their lives. But in so many ways, they did. When people think of the Red Cross, they think of hurricanes and blood drives, but there's so much more.
The Red Cross is always involved in the community. It's neighbor helping neighbor.
Who pays for all of this to happen?
We help people, people help us.
First to respond with care and relief. Count on the Red Cross to be there for your family. But we're not a government agency. We rely on you. Call the Red Cross because your help can't wait.
Hi, I'm Edward James Olmos. On the streets of Fort Wayne, there's a battle going on. It's about kids fighting kids and families fighting families. Our youth are struggling to survive. Without positive alternatives to gangs, drugs, and violence, many will end up incarcerated or dead. You can make a difference by supporting the Multicultural Youth Advisory on Gangs and its programs. They provide alternatives for youth. Together we can stop the violence and increase the peace. To learn how you can make a difference in the lives of youth, please call.
Are you a Fort Wayne employer with a position to fill? If so, the Wayne Township Trustees Employment Department would like for you to consider our applicants with the following skills. If anyone here fits your needs, please give us a call, because when you hire through the Wayne Township Trustees Employment Department, you fill not only your own needs, but the needs of someone else by giving them a job opportunity.
The Wayne Township Employment Department. Call 449-7000, extension 30.
Today's children are growing up in a world with AIDS.
Mama.
A world where 11 million people have died and 30 million others are infected with HIV. Over 1 million of them are children. AIDS increases poverty and endangers the well-being of children. Some become orphans, others die. By preventing infection today, we can protect our children tomorrow. The World Bank and its partners, fighting AIDS together.
I was always pro-choice. For me, my career was the most important thing in my life. Then I became pregnant. I was really scared at first. I didn't know what to do. But then I thought about the life growing inside me. And I realized there was no choice. I had my baby. It wasn't easy, it wasn't convenient. But life is precious.
Stay in the game, buckle up, fasten it, seatbelt, save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
February 5th, 1995. At 3:10 p.m., my mother lost her life. Police contacted my brothers who was at the crib, and if she had wore a seatbelt, they say she might have lived. My family's still suffering, and it's a shame. He ran a red light and caused her so much pain, and if she was still here, she would call my name and tell me to buckle up so I can stay in the game.
Stay in the game, buckle up, fasten it, seatbelt, save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence. Stay in the game, buckle up, fasten it, seatbelt, save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
Kids are always learning, even when they're not in school. They see everything and learn so much by imitation. That's why you need to set the best example you can. You're their most important role model, so try putting your good values into action. Remember, the most important classroom they'll ever have is in the home. A message from the Lutheran Church, Missouri.
Hello and welcome to Tragedies at Sea. I'm Mickey Hansen. Today is going to be my very first live viewer call-in show. If you have any questions or comments about this show or previous shows concerning ships, or if there's any particular ship you'd like to discuss, please feel free to call. Today we're going to be talking about the RMS Titanic. Because of the hit movie that just recently came out, I thought it'd be appropriate to be my first show. So, of course, if you want to talk about just the Titanic, that'd be fine. But today's show is about ships in general. The Titanic hull was launched on May 31st, 1911. It was built to compete with the Cunard liners Lusitania and Mauretania, along with the three sister ships, the Olympic and the Britannic, would be the grandest ships of their era. Whereas they would not be the fastest ships in the world, they would be the most luxurious, largest, and safest ships afloat. The Titanic had 16 wartime compartments and a double hull. But there was one area of safety that was lacking on, and that was the ship's lifeboats. It had 16 regular lifeboats, 8 on either side of the ship, plus 4 collapsibles, A, B, and C. Because of maritime law at that time, lifeboats were there were only enough lifeboats for ships of 10,000 tons. Well, the Titanic was 46,000 tons, but since they had exceeded the guidelines at that time, they were allowed to set sail. There were on April 10th, 1912, the luxury liner Titanic set sail for New York. On board were many prominent people. John Jacob Astor, well-noted millionaire who had just recently gone through a divorce, and with his pregnant wife, Madeline. And also the owner of Macy's department stores, Isidore Straus, and many other prominent passengers. One thing you noticed about in the movie, for those who might have seen it, there were many steerage class passengers. There were many people aboard the ship that were not there on a luxury cruise, but left their native Ireland or their native France because their homeland had offered them little in terms of economic success. You've heard that old saying about the roads are paved of gold in America. Well, that was the reason a lot of those people set sail for America. Over the years, there have been various voyages for the similar purpose of hopefully striking it rich in America. By the way, I did see the movie. I didn't like some. There were some scenes I'd rather not discuss on television, but otherwise, I thought it was a great movie. It deserved all the success it got, and it was historically accurate. Well, anyway, after leaving Southtown, England, arrived in Shipwrecks, France, and then by the time it reached Queenstown, Ireland, the passenger complement was estimated at 2,227 people, of which 1,500 would never see land again. Well, after leaving Southampton, it sailed for its voyage in eternity. Throughout its voyage, it had been uneventful, aside from a nuisance fire in this coal bunker. When it over its voyage, it had received 6 ice warnings from various ships, including one that had been interrupted by the ship's wireless operator, Jack Phillips, saying, shut up, I'm busy, I'm working Cape Race." According to all the reports, there was a long ice field in front of the ship. A lot of people today believe that there were an unusually large number of icebergs, but Captain Smith of the Titanic had done these voyages before and didn't think anything of it. He had been a captain for the White Star Line for over 30 years, and this was going to be his retirement gift, to be able to sail aboard the finest of all ocean liners.
It's not a national emergency, it's a neighborhood fire. Yet for the families who lost their homes, it's a major disaster. What does the Red Cross do in a situation like this?
We're here to help the families. We give them food and blankets, and we provide shelter.
I was with the families last night, and thank goodness they didn't lose their lives. But in so many ways, they did. When people think of the Red Cross, they think of hurricanes and blood drives, but there's so much more.
The Red Cross is always involved in the community. It's neighbor helping neighbor.
Who pays for all of this to happen?
We help people, people help us.
First to respond with care and relief. Count on the Red Cross to be there for your family. But we're not a government agency. We rely on you. Call the Red Cross, because your help can't wait.
Hi, I'm Edward James Olmos. On the streets of Fort Wayne, there's a battle going on. It's about kids fighting kids and families fighting families. Our youth are struggling to survive. Without positive alternatives to gangs, drugs, and violence, many will end up incarcerated or dead. You can make a difference by supporting the Multicultural Youth Advisory on Gangs and its programs. They provide alternatives for youth. Together we can stop the violence and increase the peace. To learn how you can make a difference in the lives of youth, please call.
Are you a Fort Wayne employer with a position to fill? If so, the Wayne Township Trustees Employment Department would like for you to consider our applicants with the following skills. If anyone here fits your needs, please give us a call, because when you hire through the Wayne Township Trustees Employment Department, you fill not only your own needs, but the needs of someone else by giving them a job opportunity.
The Wayne Township Employment Department. Call 449-7000, extension 30.
Today's children are growing up in a world with AIDS. Mama. A world where 11 million people have died and 30 million others are infected with HIV. Over 1 million of them are children. AIDS increases poverty and endangers the well-being of children. Some become orphans, others die. By preventing infection today, we can protect our children tomorrow. The World Bank and its partners, fighting AIDS together.
I was always pro-choice. For me, my career was the most important thing in my life. Then I became pregnant. I was really scared at first. I didn't know what to do. But then I thought about the life growing inside me. And I realized there was no choice. I had my baby. It wasn't easy, it wasn't convenient. But life is precious.
Stay in the game, buckle up, fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
February 5th, 1995. At 3:10 p.m., my mother lost her life. Police contacted my brothers who was at the crib, and if she had wore a seatbelt, they say she might have lived. My family's still suffering, and it's a shame. He ran a red light and caused her so much pain, and if she was still here, she would call my name and tell me to buckle up so I can stay in the game.
Stay in the game, buckle up, fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence. Stay in the game, buckle up, fasten it. Seatbelt save lives, it's evident. Realize it's the law when it's common sense. Death doesn't have to be the consequence.
Kids are always learning, even when they're not in school. They see everything and learn so much by imitation. That's why you need to set the best example you can. You're their most important role model, so try putting your good values into action. Remember, the most important classroom they'll ever have is in the home. A message from the Lutheran Church, Missouri.
Hello and welcome to Tragedies at Sea. I'm Mickey Hansen. Today is going to be my very first live viewer call-in show. If you have any questions or comments about this show or our previous shows concerning ships, or if there's any particular ship you'd like to discuss, please feel free to call. Today we're going to be talking about the RMS Titanic. Because of the hit movie that just recently came out, I thought it'd be appropriate to be my first show. So, of course, if you want to talk about just the Titanic, that'd be fine. But today's show is about ships in general. The Titanic hull was launched on May 31st, 1911. It was built to compete with the Cunard liners Lusitania and Mauretania, along with the three sister ships, the Olympic and the Britannic, would be the grandest ships of their era. Whereas they would not be the fastest ships in the world, they would be the most luxurious, largest, and safest ships afloat. The Titanic had 16 watertight compartments and a double hull. But there was one area of safety that was lacking on, and that was the ship's lifeboats. It had 16 regular lifeboats, 8 on either side of the ship, plus 4 collapsibles, A, B, and C. Because of maritime law at that time, there were only enough lifeboats for ships of 10,000 tons. Well, the Titanic was 46,000 tons, but since they had exceeded the guidelines at that time, they were allowed to set sail. There were on April 10th, 1912, the luxury liner Titanic set sail for New York. On board were many prominent people. John Jacob Astor, well-noted millionaire, who had just recently gone through a divorce, and with his pregnant wife, Madeline, and also the owner of Macy's department stores, Isidore Straus, and many other prominent passengers. One thing you noticed about in the movie, for those who might have seen it, there were many steerage class passengers. There were many people aboard the ship that were not there on a luxury cruise, but left their native Ireland or their native France because their homeland had offered them little in terms of economic success. You've heard that old saying about the roads are paved of gold in America. Well, that was the reason a lot of those people set sail for America. Over the years, there have been various voyages for the similar purpose of hopefully striking it rich in America. By the way, I did see the movie. I didn't like some. There were some scenes I'd rather not discuss on television, but otherwise, I thought it was a great movie. It deserved all the success it got, and it was historically accurate. Well, anyway, after leaving Southtown, England, it arrived in Shipwrecks, France, and then by the time it reached Queenstown, Ireland, the passenger complement was estimated at 2,227 people, of which 1,500 would never see land again. Well, after leaving Southampton, it sailed for its voyage in eternity. Throughout its voyage, it had been uneventful, aside from a nuisance fire in this coal bunker. When it over its voyage, it had received 6 ice warnings from various ships, including one that had been interrupted by the ship's wireless operator, Jack Phillips, saying, shut up, I'm busy, I'm working Cape Race." according to all the reports, there was a long ice field in front of the ship. A lot of people today believe that there were an unusually large number of icebergs. But Captain Smith of the Titanic had done these voyages before and didn't think anything of it. He had been a captain for the White Star Line for over 30 years, and this was going to be his retirement gift, to be able to sail aboard the finest of all ocean liners. Well, on April 14th, 1912, at 11:40 p.m., Frederick Fleet and Renault Lead on the crow's nest spun in an iceberg dead ahead. They immediately called the bridge. Captain Murdoch ordered the wheel hard to starboard and the engines full astern, but it was too late. Just when it looked like the ship was going to be able to avoid the iceberg, it collided right in, crumbling all kinds of crumbling the ice into the ship's well deck. A lot of people didn't think very much of it. They said, "Oh, we just dropped the propeller," or "We're going to be going back to England. No big deal." A lot of people did not take the threat of an iceberg seriously. The captain, who was in bed earlier, had just arrived and asked the first officer, Murdoch, what had happened. "Well, sir, I hard to starboard and I full astern, but it was too late. She was too close." And the Captain Smith ordered all the watertight doors to be shut, and Murdoch had mentioned he'd shut them. Well, Thomas Andrew, who was the ship's designer, had been summoned by the captain and was asked to go to below deck to determine the extent of the damage. It took a while to examine it in terms of how much water it was taking in, but then he came up with the grim news. The ship was going to sink. An hour and a half at the most. Captain Smith ordered his first officer and his second officer to take charge of the lifeboats. First officer Murdoch was put in charge of the starboard side lifeboats, and second officer Lightoller was put in charge of the port side lifeboats. Unfortunately, there was a mix-up in the orders. The captain had said women and children first, but second officer Lightoller, being a strict adherent to the rules, interpreted as all the women and all the children aboard ship to be let inside the ship in lifeboats, and then once they were then allow them in. However, he did make one exception. Toronto yachtsman Archer Pynchons had just arrived in a lifeboat with short one crewman. He was allowed aboard the lifeboat. With that one exception, no men were allowed on the port side lifeboats. The starboard side lifeboats, however, Captain First Officer Murdoch interpreted it more liberally. He felt it was women first, and when no women would go, he would take married men and then finally single men. And to compound matters, thinking the Titanic would never sink, there were not any adequate lifeboat drills. So everyone pretty much had to try to guess who had to do what job. Well, the third ship passengers, for the most part were kept in the dark as far as what was going on. But the first class passengers had immediate access to the lifeboats, but no one ever took them seriously. I remember a scene on A Night to Remember when an officer asked a woman to board a lifeboat, and she said, "Did my cat have a cold?" "Certainly not." And that was the problem. No one was told, none of the passengers were told the danger, and they did not want to leave their supposed safe ship to board the cold lifeboat. And to make things worse, crew were under the completely false impression that if you put too many people in the lifeboats, the ship would collapse. But they were designed for this. But since they didn't know that most of the lifeboats were being launched half empty, well, Captain Smith had ordered an officer to fire 6 rockets to catch the attention of the ship, the Californian. But thinking they were merely party signals, they just brushed it off. Captain Smith even tried to reach him by Morse lamp. Even still, Captain Smith had immediately gone to the wireless room to try to call for help. Originally, it was CQD, but it was later changed to SOS as far as the help, as far as the distress signal. The Californian did have a wireless operator, but it was a operator, and he had since he was the only one, he had gone to sleep an hour before the ship struck the iceberg. They were able, however, to reach the Mount Temple, the Olympic, and the Carpathia, although most of them wouldn't take him seriously. But the Carpathia did indicate that they would try to get there as soon as they could. Well, as time progressed, the Titanic slowly but surely started to tilt, making standing on the deck more and more difficult. To calm the crew, the ship's band was asked to play some music. Historians cannot agree on what they played, but you'll find in most of the older Titanic movies they played Nearer My God to Thee, although a lot of historians believe that the band only played ragtime music. Captain Smith was at his post waiting for the end, which finally came at 2:20 a.m. Greenwich time. By this point, it had reached a 45-degree angle, and then, one by one, the funnel started to snap off. And then, slowly but surely, it started to go down until it got to the between the 3rd and 4th funnel, and then snap. The ship broke in two. In the same motion, the 3rd and 4th funnel snapped off. The bow section sped to the bottom, while the people on the stern section clinged to the stern with dear life, hoping beyond hope they would be rescued. Then the stern section rights itself, turns 45 degrees, and then down it goes, leaving over 1,500 people in the freezing cold water. Only one lifeboat reaches the crew. Although most of them are dead, they are able to find four people in the freezing water, of which one dies the next night. Oh, and there was an interesting note. On one of the collapsibles, Charles Lightoller was trying to cut it free, but the ship had turned in such a way that the collapsible completely flipped over and was now completely upside down. Charles Lightoller and a few other people had to stand up on the lifeboat for the entire time. And there they were. After 2.5 hours of staying afloat, the greatest ocean liner ever built was gone, and 1,522 people had died with her. In that cold water, people were freezing upset about losing loved ones, wondering if they were ever going to make it out alive. They were hoping that they were hoping they would be rescued. Well, finally that help came. The Carpathia arrived at the scene. One by one, the lifeboats were lifted up. Lightour was the last to be rescued. Well, a head count was taken. 705 survivors of a complement of 2,227. By far the worst maritime disaster of that up until that point. Through wireless, the message was sent all around the world. But unfortunately, wireless telegraph were a primitive form of communications at that period of time. And there was a mix-up in the message. Like, there was one message that said, barge being towed, another message, Titanic sunk, but the two messages got garbled together and said, Titanic being safely towed to Halifax. So the impression was a long time that the Titanic didn't sink and that all were saved. But when they arrived to New York, the proof was otherwise. 13 small boats was all that was recovered. There were two investigations, one on the American side and one on the British side, to try to determine what had caused the sinking. They were pretty much on agreement as who was responsible, except on the issue of the captain. The American inquiry thought that Captain Smith was being reckless, that he didn't take adequate measures to ensure that the collision hadn't occurred. The British, on the other hand, felt that the captain had done an admirable job and there's nothing he could have done to prevent the tragedy. Over the years, there have been several attempts to try to salvage the ship. But so far, I'm not sure why they were considering salvage it when first they had to look for it. And technology at that time didn't exist. The ship was in 2.5 miles of water. And the average submersible was lucky they could go 300 feet. And we're talking 12,500 feet of water. By the way, there was an interesting footnote to the tragedy. The ship's sister ship of the Titanic, the Olympic, has sailed over the wreck and had dropped the wreath to commemorate the tragedy. And they encountered an earthquake, and at that time they thought the earthquake had buried the ship. Well, up until that point, no one had known whether that had happened. Well, anyway, there was some talk. Even though the ship couldn't be found, there are various ways to try to raise it. And, fill it up with ping pong balls, fill it up with air, and raise it to the surface. Others thought about surrounding it with ice and having it float the surface that way. And in the movie, The Race of the Titanic, they put explosives all around the sides of the ship and toy with explode the ship loose. But all the people had one thing in common. All thought the ship had sunk in one piece. And until its discovery, that impression had endured. Well, in 1981 and 1983, Jack Grimm, the Texas millionaire, had launched 3 expeditions to try to find the Titanic. From the Scripps Institute, he had Fred Spies, and from another university, Bill Ryan. all the time, everything had went against him as far as trying to find the ship. He didn't put enough faith in his scientists. He didn't have a thorough search plan. He didn't had problems with in cooperative weather. The ship, against all the odds, the ship remained to be found. Another man wanted to take up the challenge. His name was Dr. Robert Ballard. He had dreamed previously of finding the Titanic, and was prompted by his friend Bill Tampton to try to find the wreck. But so far everything went against him, including in 1977, the year he met Bill Tampton. He had also loaned the local sea probe to try to find the vessel. But on one of his sea trials, when he was trying to lower the equipment, all the equipment crashed to the bottom. Over $1 million worth of equipment was gone. It was barred from ever trying to find the Titanic under the Woods Hole banner. But not to be deterred, he worked on a brand new system called the Argo, which would work on a concept called telepresence. You're experiencing telepresence right now. You're seeing it as it happens. Well, that's what telepresence is. Bob Ballard describes it that if you see a shark on the screen, you're going to think that shark is going to attack you. It's that real. And Bob Ballard had thought that by using telepresence, people could actually enjoy exploring the deep with him. Well, 3 guesses on what the test site was going to be. Although he was under policy at that time to not use the Woods Hole banner to try to find the Titanic, but his official expedition technically was to test the new equipment he had just developed. But he knew for a fact that he would never have the funds to try to do it himself, so he got the help of the French infirmier. You're going to have to pardon my French. It's called Institut Français Recherche Exploration de la Mer, or literally French Institution for Exploration of the Sea. His friend Jean-Louis Michel, who had been with him on many expeditions, was co-leader with him. Well, the vessel Nor on the American side, and on the French side they had the Lisserot for the French. Well, the Lisserot had its own vessel, the Sar, which didn't use video cameras, but instead used sonar. They'd use a technique known as mowing the lawn, where they go back and forth, exploring the search area